Okay, we're ready. Would anybody like to volunteer to go first tonight?
I'll go first because before my house gets loud.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, and everybody does have their name already written on their square. So yeah, I'm going to change the view now. Okay, we're going to be ready when you are.
ready? Okay. Why do people lie? People lie for many different reasons. People lie to protect their self-image, to protect themselves from embarrassment, for um to get out of awkward social gatherings or any gathering, as a matter of fact. Um, but lying could cause people to lose trust, to ruin your relationships or friendships. It can create a lot of embarrassment. You can be embarrassed. The person you lied to can be embarrassed. It's just a horrible situation to put yourself and others in. You know, I've been in situations where I've been lied to, and it's not always the best of feelings. It could lead into my other point. It could also make you feel foolish. It can make you feel like you've been placed in a situation that you don't want to be put in because someone lied to you and you didn't know how to deal with it, or you dealt with the situation incorrectly. Um, and for me, one of the biggest things about people who lie, I strongly believe that it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful to the person that you choose to lie to, or the people that you have chosen to lie to. It impacts people differently. Like some people may not be so bothered about the lie, and some people may be completely bothered about the lie. Hurt, even as hurt as you can possibly be. So yeah, I feel like, you know, it is my biggest pet peeve. It is the ultimate pet peeve for me. And I have a few, but I decided to speak on this one because, most recently I've had a few experiences with people lying to me. And I have realized that, yes, this is the ultimate pet peeve because I feel like it's a complete slap in the face in certain situations. And, I don't think people who lie, they realize how it impacts you. And I just want to leave you all with this quote that I came across just this week while I was doing my research. And it says, to tell the truth costs you absolutely nothing, but to tell a lie can cost you everything. By Stan Biner. Thank you.
You can feel free to clap, although everybody's muted, but you can see our hands. All right, who's next? Like to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Imagine going to dinner with a date, eating wonderful food and enjoying great drinks and conversation. And as you get up to leave with one another, you notice a sudden change in his or her expression. Something wrong, I ask? No, I'm fine. Maybe an unexpected a text or something that happened at dinner? No, I'm fine. Let's go. The annoyance is absurd. Every day people lie, and on average, we lie over 1,000 times. And you bet saying I'm fine when you're not is one of those lies. I'm easily displeased by people who say they're fine when they're not because it hides problems, distances each other, and is not your authentic self. First off, I'm displeased by people who say they're fine because it hides problems. It's an issue for me because I'm blunt. How can you pay attention to one's feelings when they're not sharing the problem with you? Ain't weak to speak is a mental health message. And denial of our problems is understandable. However, it's never effective. And it's extra annoying because I'm naturally a curious person and try to constantly voice how I feel, yet I find myself in I'm fine when you're really not situations over and over. Leaving the conversation having zero idea what is wrong, but knowing that there is a problem hidden underneath. Another reason I am displeased by people who say I'm fine when they're not is because it distances one another, brings you further apart. It distances one another because you're not able to share each other's true feelings. It distances one another because listening and being vulnerable is key to understanding one another. Why is it so annoying? It brings you further apart. You'll never develop a deep and honest relationship continually saying, I'm fine when you're really not. Admittedly, myself and others, sometimes we say I'm fine because you don't really know how you feel. Yet understanding that suppressing those feelings will never yield a greater result in a relationship is a goal to understand that. Lastly, I'm displeased by people who say that I'm fine when they're not because it's not authentic. If you're not honest with others, you're not going to be honest with yourself. Not authentic is not effective. The more truthful you are of your needs, the better communication, the better you'll be able to communicate that with others. Being inauthentic can be dysfunctional in relationship. And how can you get further to get to know someone if they continually hide behind a wall of, no, I'm fine? We've most likely all had similar situations of hiding behind that wall of I'm fine. However, it's extremely frustrating for the opposite party to understand the true feeling, the true feelings aren't being actually confronted. In conclusion, my pet peeve is people telling you I'm fine when they're really not. I shared with you why I'm fine when you're not displeases me. It only hides problems, distances one another, and is not authentic. Don't be ashamed to be the genuine you, how you really are. It's okay to be struggling because life is a struggle. Be the true you. That's it.
That was great close until you said, that's it. But you're closing.
I could have muted it. Yeah, I just
Don't
signed
say
off.
that's it. Don't say that's it. You're closing. That leaves us right there. It was great. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Start whenever.
1 second. Let me get you.
Open. I think she pooping.
All right, Alex, we're ready. Oh, wait, so sorry, so sorry. Oh. Really. Woo, glad you weren't talking. Glad you weren't speaking. Okay, Alex, we're ready.
Good evening. Representative, please. Representative. How many of you have been through this exact scenario before? If you're anything like me, then you know how infuriating it is. I get annoyed when dealing with automated customer service programs because it takes too long, it's frustrating, and it's disingenuous. I get annoyed when dealing with automated customer service because it takes too long. It takes too long using an automated system because it would be quicker to talk to an actual person. When dealing with the automated system, I end up being on the phone for an additional 10 to 20 minutes, navigating options only to be put on hold anyway. I would much rather be on hold knowing that there would be another person on the other end of the line. It's much quicker for me to convey my needs to a person instead of a computer. A person won't interrupt me as much as a computer would as I'm trying to explain what the issue is. I don't have to hear, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. Could you repeat it again, please?" over and over again. I get annoyed when dealing with automated customer service programs because it's frustrating. It's frustrating because talking to a computer just doesn't feel right versus talking to a person. It's extremely frustrating that technology, by definition, is an application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. There's nothing practical about an automated phone program. It's repetitive and frustrating just to get a simple answer. It's also frustrating because the automated system are endless loops of options. The options hardly ever pertain to my needs. They aren't specific enough. Maybe I need help with a double payment. Maybe the only option is make a payment or check my statement. The system doesn't know where to sort me, but a human can make a judgment. I get annoyed when dealing with the automated customer service program because it's disingenuous. It's disingenuous to call it customer service when it's more like customer punishment. I shouldn't have to prepare myself for a mental battle just to get information on a simple issue like a package delivery or a billing information. It doesn't feel like a company remotely cares about me as a customer. I've had instances where I've been put on hold for a long time only to go through a gauntlet of automated options just to be put right back on hold. Then after everything's done, they hang up on me anyway. In conclusion, I hope you have a better understanding of why automated customer service are my biggest pet peeves due to how long they take, how frustrating, and how disingenuous they are. I don't understand the cutting of human elements, and when it comes to servicing the needs of those who help you. We've all been there. Minutes of our lives we'll never get back. Hopefully, you've not lost your temper on the soulless machine. But if you have, trust me, I understand. If you ever feel yourself getting ready to just throw your phone across this room, don't do it. Just hang up.
Okay. Yeah. I think that is a relatable. So far, all three of them have been pretty relatable.
I see why I had to change mine.
I can go, Professor, unless you want me to wait and see if you receive mine.
No, I can, I mean, did you just put it in there again? You stuck it
I
in?
put it in there again, yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
Have you ever wondered how clean the air around you is? Or maybe how you can help pollution? According to the World Health Organization, 99% of the world's population breathe in polluted air every day. Today, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why littering annoys me. This is a huge problem that the environment is facing at the moment. The more we litter, the more normalized it becomes. We must get accustomed to throwing things in the trash or recycling bins. I am annoyed by littering because it is toxic to the environment, it kills wildlife, and it causes car accidents. I am annoyed by littering because it's toxic to the environment. It is important for us to focus on keeping the environment clean for future generations. Therefore, it is extremely important when you are around someone younger, you lead by example. You take all your trash to the trash can. Don't throw away your leftover napkins or fast food on the side of the road before you drive off, or throw away your car trash where you're parked. In fact, kids learn quickly. If they are taught the right way, everyone will use the trash can correctly. A great way to avoid littering is also to keep some type of bag or container in your car to make it easier to bring out into the trash can. Littering is where disease starts. Not only it being an eyesore visually, the truth is littering can cause illnesses. Just from litter being touched by a human, an insect, or an animal, it can breed and spread bacteria without you knowing it. In fact, littering then carries the germs which turn into all types of viruses. Insects thrive from garbage, which makes disease hard to control if thousands of insects are spreading it. I am annoyed by littering because it kills wildlife. Most of the litter that we see in our everyday lives is only a small percentage of the amount that ends up in the ocean. There's so much wildlife in the ocean, from animals to plants, that are harmed by littering daily. Over the last decade, the rate of plastic in the ocean has grown at a rapid rate. According to weforum.org, 8 million tons of plastic ends up in the ocean yearly. The way that litter kills animals is by either them ingesting it or getting caught in it. They find a plastic bag, a mask, a bottle, and believe that this is food or shelter for them. Smaller animals can get entangled in things, making it hard to get out. And this is just the ocean we're speaking of. Land animals are also impacted by littering. Birds and other small animals can eat moldy foods, poison, or even cigarette butts, which then other animals eat plastic boxes that they find, but they are unable to digest, which lead them to starvation and illnesses. I am annoyed by littering because it causes car accidents. Yes, car accidents. Litter in any shape or form can manage to swerve for you hitting it or even taking your eye off to say, what is that? It's hard to avoid items in the middle of a busy or fast lane, but what if you try to swerve and you're unsuccessful? You hit another driver because of it. This is not including things that people throw out of their window while they're driving. Not only is it a distraction, it can cause an accident by hitting the person beside them or behind them. Furthermore, in Dubai, police ticket and fine motorists that litter. They follow you and ticket you in the hopes that it will help public spaces and keeping the roads clean. According to NWA CarAccidentAttorney.com, over 800 Americans are killed yearly in litter-attributed motor vehicle accidents. Dump trucks and 18-wheelers are also part of this when they are not properly covered and debris fly off of them without the drivers noticing, which leads to accidents. In fact, over 2,000 accidents a year are caused by some type of debris in the road. If you think about it, when you're driving 65 miles an hour, a cardboard box just happens to pop in your view, the first instinct is going to be to avoid it. But at a certain rate of speed with cars around you, that choice can lead into a bad accident for you and others. So to conclude, the reasons that littering annoy me is because it's toxic to the environment, it causes diseases, and it's killing our wildlife, and also causing car accidents. Ultimately, the best choice for us is to just dispose of trash correctly in trash bins. It's not a hard task. Something as small as a Pepsi bottle can cause so many issues in the environment. You don't even think about it when you're just chucking something out of your car window. Not only is littering is common sense, it has become dangerous, toxic, and in some cases deadly. Let's all recycle so that we can stop the cycle that is adversely affecting our environment. Thank you.
Okay. I forgot to ask, does anybody have any questions at all on any of the speeches you wanted to ask a speaker? Victoria said, no, real fast. Don't ask me any questions. Okay. Who'd like to go next?
I can go next.
Okay. We're ready.
Ready? Okay. Biting your nails. Let's face it. A lot of us may have this bad habit. I don't blame you. Some of us may do this by stress. Others just maybe because it's a bad habit developed over the years. Today I'm gonna talk about bacteria you might ingest by accident, the deformities you can cause on your nails and teeth, the harmful and painful time that you might have by doing this. Nail biters have a high chance of acquiring teeth deformities. Many articles say that biting your nails can cause severe trauma and inflammation to the nail. And due to this, you might develop habit-tick deformities. Over the time, it will cause damage to your teeth and gums. The grinding and friction between your tooth and nail can cause your teeth to move, causing gaps and misalignment, which sounds bad. Biting your nails can cause health problems. You can ingest bacteria, which can lead to infections. It can even end up in a bone infection. It can also cause systematic complications. And washing your hands for 20 seconds with soap will not prevent you from getting bacteria after biting your nails. Now that we know a little bit of the health problems that you can get and the fingers, the nails and teeth issues that you might get from this, we can go on to the next topic, which is how harmful and painful it can be for you. And I can talk about this by personal experience. My girlfriend, she used to bite her nails a lot. It was like an everyday thing, to the point that it will be painful for her. And it was very upsetting because sometimes I even saw blood coming out from her nails, and it was just bad. At some point, it started being a problem in our relationship. We had a lot of discussions about it. We talked about it for a long time. And after that, she was finally able to understand that it wasn't good for her health. And it just wasn't a good thing to do, a good habit. She was able to stop it. It's been 4 months. Now she has beautiful nails, long, healthy, and most importantly, without pain. No pain for nail biting. So today we talked about the why you should stop biting your nails. I discussed the health risks, nail and teeth deformities, and lastly, how painful it can be. So what I can tell you is if you stop biting your nails, you will be less likely to get infections, you will avoid deformities, and you will definitely avoid pain from biting your nails. So just remember, next time you think about biting your nails or you even get your hands close to your mouth, just think about all the problems that can come along with it. Lots of bacteria grows.
Okay, thank you, Oswaldo. Any questions about anything? Okay, who'd like to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, we're ready.
All set?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine you are in your room trying to take a selfie to show off your new clothes that you just bought. You notice in the camera that you have a booger in your nose. Do you either stick your finger up there and start picking at it, or do you go downstairs and go get a tissue to blow it out the proper way? That innocent picking of the nose is transferring thousands of germs and bacteria. Nose picking is one of many forms of poor hygiene that grosses me out. I get annoyed with people who display poor hygiene because it spreads germs and diseases, it creates unhealthy living environments, and it is unsanitary. First off, I get annoyed with people who display poor hygiene because it spreads germs and bacteria. Imagine going to a restaurant and seeing the chef who's about to cook your meal in the bathroom after using, pardon me, that is probably the last thing you want to see him not wash his hand after going number 1 or number 2. I would not want to be eating at that restaurant, and I don't know if you would be too. Washing your hands eliminates the germs and gets rid of harmful bacteria. In a newspaper page written by Melissa Hawkins, titled The Conversation of Health, she stated, "The science is clear. that the commonplace practice of washing hands is one of the most important activities that a person can avoid for getting sick, spreading a disease, and germs. A proper 20 seconds worth of washing your hands, or a one round of singing happy birthday, will be just enough. Throughout our daily lives, we touch some of the most disgusting things across our phones, money, light switches, and our laptops. Have you touched any of those objects so far today? Germs are living and crawling on our hands all day long without us even knowing. That is why washing our hands is very important. Secondly, I get annoyed with people who display poor hygiene because it is unsanitary. Something that really grosses me out is the idea of going weeks without taking a shower. Properly shampooing and conditioning is something that I do not take for granted. Not only is it filthy for me personally and gross, it is scientifically proven that it is harming your body. Researcher Garrett A. Boisier did an experiment where he tested the effects of cold water versus hot water. And he reported to the Harvard Business Association that cold showers lead to fewer sick days. So there's no more calling out sick to work. Finally, I get annoyed with people who display poor hygiene because it creates unhealthy living habits. Oral hygiene is one of the biggest aspects of our health. It is the gateway to foods that we eat, the drinks that we consume, and is the primary highway or gateway for germs and other bacteria to enter our bodies. Poor oral hygiene is more than having bad smelly breath or yellow teeth and cavities. It is also a serious medical issue that impacts a lot of people. According to the Journal of American Medical Association of Chicago, dental issues is estimated to affect 23% of US children under the age of 2 and 5 years old. They can cause tooth pain, cavities, and which leads to pain of chewing, bleeding of gums, and can lead to poor nutrition and growth. The fact that nearly 1/4 of young Americans is set up for a decreased quality of life is concerning because they do not have the proper resources or knowledge of proper hygiene. Brushing your teeth twice a day and keeping up on your flossing are both great ways to prevent these issues from occurring. Now I have a question for you guys. When was the last time that you guys have flossed your teeth? I am a victim of not doing as much as I should. In conclusion, the importance of creating a healthy and long-lasting environment for all of us is important. Hence, why I get annoyed with people who display poor hygiene because it spreads germs, diseases, it creates unhealthy living environments, and is unsanitary. That is why it is key to make sure you are doing the small things to make sure that your body is healthy and that you're creating a safer environment, not only for yourself, but for others as well.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I could go next.
Okay.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready for you.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So imagine you're standing in line at the grocery store and the person behind you is very close up to you, so close. You hear that conversation. Not only do you hear that conversation, but however, you can practically smell their body sense. You could practically smell their breath. I'm pretty sure everybody has experienced that. Some people have different views of what personal space is. So I'm pretty sure it has happened to one person here or another. But my thing is, my pet peeve is I am very annoyed by people who invade my personal space. This annoys me because, for one thing, it is very uncomfortable. I believe it is at times can be depending on the situation. It can be very intimidating behavior, and it also could be hazardous to your health. Because not just standing in line, however, being out in the street is another example, going somewhere and people coming too close to you, someone trying to talk to you, someone trying to get your attention, and they're coming too close, is all of an example. So my main points start with my first reason for being annoyed with people invading my personal space, which is it makes me feel uncomfortable. I've already been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, so someone being too close to me brings up anxiety in me. For example, as I said, standing in line, someone close to me, reaching over top of my head, or just thinking that because I'm short, just over 5 feet, because I'm short, it's okay to reach over my head and grab something off of the counter or what source. And this is not okay because, as I said, it's invading my personal space. Personal space varies from person to person. The Merriam-Webster dictionary says that personal space is defined as the distance from another person at which one feels comfortable when talking or being next to another person. So it's determined by you and how you feel. Also, your space, your personal space really, or not just personal space, but space is categorized by 4 zones. You have an intimate zone, which is like 0 to 2 feet. You have a personal zone, which is 2 to 4 feet. You have a social zone, and then you have a public zone. So I like to have, I would say at least an arm length is more comfortable for me. Also, I am annoyed by people invading my personal space because at times it's a sign of intimidating behavior. Something personal that happened to me, there was a time in my life where there was an abusive situation, to whereas it was a guy who was trying to get my attention, who was telling me that he liked the way I look. In other words, he was trying to talk to me to get to know me. However, I was not interested. So I chose to ignore the person. And because of that, ignoring him, and he was already within, I would say, my personal space, he began to attack me because I did not respond to him in the way that he would have, I guess, in the way that he wanted me to. So someone being within my personal space brings up in intimidating thoughts, or it just brings up the past for me. So depending on the situation, it can be intimidating behavior. There is also from the harassment to disappearance, an article on the library website that says interaction in public spaces are influenced by gender regulations. The streets become a territory of male dominance where men prove their masculinity, approach women considered to be of lower status or out of role, and women modify their behavior to reduce the risk of harassment. So that it stands out to me when I read that, because it proves very much so how I feel when I am walking down the street and some stranger is trying to get my attention. I am very cautious of that because I do not know how that may play out, especially when it is a male figure. The third thing, I am annoyed by people invading my personal space because it is a health hazard. It is a serious respiratory illnesses can spread indirectly by coughing, sneezing, or talking by airborne droplets. So just speaking to a person, and like I said in the beginning, in the line at the grocery store, just standing, someone standing a little bit too close to you and speaking, droplets can come from their mouth. God forbid if they sneeze or cough, it can get on you as well. The CDC says indirect contact, infectious spread, infectious spread when an infected person sneezes or cough, sending infectious droplets into the air. So now you know I am extremely annoyed when a stranger is invading my personal space. It is inconsiderate behavior and it shows lack of proper boundaries. So as Ludacris said, boom, get out the way. And that's it.
Yep. No, that's it. It's okay like it was. Don't add that. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I can go next.
Four more. Three more. All right. Okay, Dominic, we're ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with a story. So you're coming home from a Halloween party, it's dark. You're going down a fairly busy road and you're about to make a pretty sharp turn. And then all of a sudden, from around the corner, some dude is turning with his high beams on and you're blinded. So you gotta slow down because you're not sure what the turn is. And you start to panic because, like, did I already pass it? Is it over here? Did I cross a line? And you just have to hit the brakes, wait for him to pass, or you can take the risk and guess. Either situation kind of sucks, and doesn't really take a lot to pretty much put you in another person's shoes, because I'm pretty sure it's happened to everyone or almost everyone. So today I'm here to inform you that my pet peeve is people who drive with their high beams on busy roads, because it is blinding, dangerous, and promotes road rage. So to start it off with, the first point that I said is blinding. High beams, as of right now, are kind of translating more towards LEDs, which are even worse. But most of the statistics that I have found are for fluorescent light bulbs inside of the car, which were basically dimmer. So on an average, and the lumens, or the value of how bright something is for a high beam fluorescent bulb, is around 1200 lumens. The average flashlight, like a handheld flashlight, emits 100 lumens. So basically, if someone's driving at you with high beams on, that's if someone was running around with 12 flashlights pointing at you at the same time in a 2-ton vehicle. You can see how that's might be a bit annoying. And another thing is that amount of light coming at you will blind you, and sensory deprivation is really annoying. Studies have shown that if you like limit a person's like senses in any way and then ask them to do a task, they're going to get frustrated with it pretty easily. Like, imagine if you were asked to pay attention to what this person's saying and someone comes behind you and cups your ears. They're probably going to be pretty annoyed because can't hear it. Same thing with this. When you're driving and someone's got high beams on, how are you supposed to see? How are you supposed to drive? And speaking of which, studies have shown that out of all the senses, sight is the one that equals the most annoyance compared to the rest of them. So that's a double whammy for that. The second point is it's dangerous. I'm pretty sure it doesn't take rocket science to tell you why not being able to see while driving is pretty dangerous, but let's just go into that. Out of the 5 senses of the human body, 3 are needed, which are sense of sight, sense of touch, and the sense of sound. Since you don't need to smell outside or lick the steering wheel, the other 2 are kind of out of the way. But the sense of sight is by far the most important, because you could just get into an accident. Actually, one of the main causes of accidents in modern day is cell phone usage. And the reason for that is because their eyes are focused on the cell phone instead of the road. So that sight is really important. And if someone's coming at you with high beams on, 12 flashlights in your eyes, you're not going to be able to see pretty well. And you might get into an accident. And accidents are probably one of the most common form of human death outside, or one of them at least. So in a census taken for one road, which was the NH-76 in, I think it's somewhere in Saudi. There was a census taken for how many accidents were on that road. And in a 2-year period on just that road, there was 953 accidents. 346 of them were grievous or like needed to be hospitalized with extensive injuries. And then 40 people of those 953 died. That's just one road. And I can pretty much tell that a lot of them are caused by not being able to see correctly or someone doing things that are reckless, which leads me into my third point, which is road rage. Road rage is extremely common when minor inconveniences happen on the road, i.e. not being able to see, getting annoyed that you can't see. So you're going to be more prone to get angry, including me. My pet peeve is about people doing that. So I mean, road rage is very common when people do something that annoys another driver, i.e. cutting off, not using a blinker, high beams, and they're prone to drive more aggressive and more recklessly, which can cause more accidents. Now, again, a main reason why this is a pet peeve is because it's not only affecting the person like me, it's affecting other people as well. Other people can be hurt, and that just makes me angry. So road rage is also infectious because if one person gets angry and starts driving aggressively, it's going to affect other people. And all of that just kind of spirals, and that all could have been avoided if the person just shut off their high beams. And road rage can easily turn into a police investigation because of how extensive people get. You don't know if things are going to get out of control. I read a couple articles that actually one in Sydney recently, where a road rage incident turned into a gunfight. Or in Liverpool, a road rage incident turned into a homicide because a guy got out of his car and beat another person with a stick, all for flashing their eye beams when he didn't like it. So it's not only for me to be a pet peeve, it's also like it helps so many other people. So to hammer in this main point, driving on busy roads, just turn off your high beams. It's blinding. It's hazardous, and you're going to make people angry. And if you don't want to do that, just turn them off. But I get it. When you're driving at night, you're going somewhat fast, you want the high beams on. But just when you're getting a lot of visibility, you're also cutting off other people's visibility. It's just not a great trade. It's not like a free exchange. Like there's a give and take. So just turn off your high beams when you see someone on the other side of the road, and it just keeps the road safer, keep people happier, keep me happier. And if you're driving at night, if you're afraid of hitting something because you're going too fast, and that for the reason that you're like having your high beams on, just go a little slower. You'll be safe. You get home. I mean, unless you got like a paper due or something, just burn it down a little, and we'll be okay.
Thanks, Tom. And Michelle, I meant to tell you, I'm very sorry that happened to you when you had someone attack you. I'm very sorry that happened to you.
I guess I'll be up next. Ooh. Can everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
1 second. Mhm.
Oh, you're not ready for me? Okay.
Carlos and Greg. Okay. 1 second, man. Let me get more. Okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Marilyn. How's everyone this evening? I'll tell you a story. Coming up from my household, we had entertainment, and especially this time during Thanksgiving, we always be a mess and stuff. But I can always remember Grandma. She would clean up everything, and you couldn't tell we even had guests. So, and but looking at me, guitar, I'm pretty healthy, and I like to stay healthy. So, I want to say, food is essential to life. Therefore, make it suitable. So, this evening, I'm going to express to you 3 reasons. I'm going to tell you this evening. I'm going to tell you why I'm annoyed by a messy kitchen. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why a messy kitchen is unhealthy, unsafe, and embarrassing. Okay, now let's look into the reasons for that. I'm annoyed because it's unhealthy. A messy kitchen is a problem for me because it's not healthy. You have mess, you have food left out, not properly stored and put away is a problem. It builds up bacteria and cause contaminations as well. A messy kitchen, you get food, you're leaving food out and stuff, you have foodborne illnesses. So your food's not properly covered, you got spills and stuff all over everywhere. You have bacteria building up. Okay. And from having that bacteria build up, it also causes by not washing your hands and leaving dirty dishes in the sink, you can, and not cleaning your utensils can cause cross contamination, which can cause you some foodborne illness as well. Okay, go to the next phase. Would be I'm annoyed by a messy kitchen because it's unsafe. You have, this is a problem for me too, because picture this, you're walking in to the kitchen and your family members been cooking and they spill food or grease on the floor, and you're walking in, you slip and fall. Now you have to spend time at the ER. You don't want to do that. So it's like clean up as you go, I say. Also, it's unsafe when they cooking it and you let your grease build up on your range, and you got which can, when you go to cook again, can start a fire, which is unsafe. You have a lot of clutter and your kitchen mittens, stove mittens, whatever, are built up with grease, and you're cooking and you go to move the pot and that catches on fire, which is unsafe. That I had that experience. Okay. And next, let's go to, I'm annoyed by a messy kitchen because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because you have these parties or family gatherings, and for some reason, when they come over, everybody just likes to hang out by the kitchen and conversate. And you don't want to have a messy kitchen and you have family visiting or guests, whichever one. Okay. Also, you have your family members or guests over, and they like to hang out, and you have insects, rodents running about. That's embarrassing as well. So a messy kitchen can attract those pests. So that's another reason why I don't like a messy kitchen. Dishes left in the sink, food left open on the counter can attract pests. It's mice and your rats and other rodents. It isn't very comfortable when I have guests over and they see a messy kitchen. That makes me feel terrible. I like to feel good about myself, though I like to have a clean kitchen. A messy kitchen creates many problems. It's unhealthy, it's unsafe conditions, and it creates pests. So in conclusion, I say, I am annoyed by a messy kitchen because it's unhealthy, unsafe, embarrassing, and with that, food is life. Let's make it suitable to clean your kitchen. Cleanliness is godliness.
Thank you, Marilyn. Cleanliness is next to godliness. All right. Okay. 2 more left. Any, many, no.
Me.
Oh, 3 more left. Okay. Did you submit your speech, Jackie?
I mean, I thought I did. You didn't get it?
Okay, so okay, I'll look for it.
Okay,
All
if
right,
not, we'll
3
resubmit.
more. Okay.
All right. I'll resubmit it after.
Okay.
Hello. Have you ever tried to have a conversation with someone who wouldn't let you speak? According to Jerry Seinfeld, a stand-up comedian, says, when you interrupt, you've stopped listening. People need to be heard. Today, I would like to inform you of 3 reasons why interrupters are disruptive, inconsiderate, and disrespectful. First, I am annoyed by people who interrupt me while I'm still talking because it is disruptive. It is disruptive because it prevents something from continuing or operating in a normal way. In the scholarly journal, Engaging in Difficult Conversations at Work by Greta Davis says, learning how to resolve conflict through effective conversation adds value to the company's bottom line and helps advance careers. Especially at work, communication is key. And if you aren't being heard, this may affect your working ethic. Secondly, I am annoyed by people who interrupt me while I'm still talking because it is inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate because you are lacking care and thought for others. If you are listening to what others have to say, they should also present the same to you. In the scholarly journal Family Communication by Business Mirror, they mention interrupting, being dismissive, or jumping in with instant solutions can make them feel that their own thoughts on the matter are falling on deaf ears. You cannot listen and talk at the same time. My third reason I am annoyed by people who interrupt me while I'm still talking is because it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful because it is rude and shows a lack of respect. When someone is trying to tell you something important and you keep budging in, you will never completely understand where they are coming from. For example, there was a time I was arguing with someone, and because they kept cutting me off, it was hard for us to resolve the situation and come to an agreement because of them not letting me state my opinion. Remember to always listen to each other's opinion for a better understanding. Lastly, you now know that my pet peeve is people who interrupt others while they are still talking because it is disruptive, inconsiderate, and disrespectful. If you're an interrupter, you probably don't know how it feels to get cut off during a conversation, or you have, and that's probably why you created the habit of doing it. Altogether, it is very obnoxious, and you should reconsider it the next time you interrupt the conversation. So the next time you try interrupting a conversation, just remember how it would feel if it were to be done to you, and remember that everybody deserves to be heard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. All right, then there were 2.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Carlos.
Okay. I'm sure we all had bad experiences, or at least most of us, with people while walking, like in the supermarket, hallways, or the sidewalk. So I'm annoyed by people who lack walking etiquette because it is inconsiderate, it's disrespectful, and it's unsanitary. I am annoyed by people who lack walking etiquette because it is inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate because you are not thinking about the other people around you. You're just thinking about yourself, even though you guys are walking in the same direction. To quote Helen McCrory, people are not considerate of others. They tend not to consider themselves as all living together, but see themselves only as individuals. This is a problem for me because you are basically just being selfish. So you're just concerned with your own personal benefit and pleasure, and you're just not thinking about anybody else but yourself. I am annoyed by people who lack walking etiquette because it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful because you are just not keeping other people in mind, and you're just kind of just, even though you see them coming, you're just kind of still doing it on purpose. Like you're just gonna cut them off on purpose anyways. Me and my friend, one time we were at the mall, and we saw this guy did it to my friend too, but there was this guy also that he did it to, that they were both walking and they were both about to collide, and they both like refused to move at all. So at the end, they both just ran into each other, and then they both got pretty upset at each other, and they had like a verbal confrontation. But after that, I just kind of walked away because he did the same thing with my friend, except my friend kind of just ignored it too. And then um it really doesn't take too much effort to just move out of the way. Like you see someone coming, like to move out of the way. I mean, if someone says excuse me, obviously, just kind of just move out of the way. It's like you don't like being cut off. I'm sure like while driving also, you want, like, I'm sure people don't like being cut off while driving. I don't like being cut off while driving, so the same would apply while, walking also. Just keep other people in mind as well. I am annoyed by people who lack walking etiquette because it is unsanitary. I've seen people like litter, chew up a piece of gum, just spit on the sidewalk as other people are walking, and it just I don't want to step on like any trash. Like if I just bought new shoes, I don't want to step on any trash. I don't want to ruin my shoes. I don't want to pick out a piece of gum from my shoes. At the end of the day, it's just gross, and I just like to feel clean. I just don't like to have any like germs or anything, especially like on stuff I just bought. So in conclusion, you know that my pet peeve is people who lack walking etiquette because it's inconsiderate, disrespectful, and unsanitary. Um, what you want to do is you just want to put yourself in that other person's shoes. Just think about other people's feelings while you're walking the same path. We're all living together. We're all going to the same place. Just want to keep everybody else's feelings into consideration while you're walking. So at least, say excuse me or something whenever you need to pass by someone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. All right, Greg. Oh, we did Greg.
I thought I already went.
We did you already.
Okay, I thought I was muted or something. Okay.
I printed your thing out twice. That's
Oh, sorry
I
about
think
that.
that's everybody.
okay. Is that everybody?
That should be everybody.
Wonderful. All right. Good job. Good job. I was a little nervous at first. I said, well, they're just not listening to me, but you are listening to me. So some of the highlights I thought for tonight was a lot of you really did work on your closing remarks. And that's a good thing, as well as your attention getting. Mostly everybody did really good on the attention getting today. And most people were pretty good with stating your central ideas. Little tweaks here and there with some of you. Some of you are giving like your specific purpose and kind of like teasing it a little bit, but you don't need to do that. You just come right out and say, what is your central idea? But mostly everybody did incorporate the main points into your central idea. So that was good. So a couple people didn't say that it was a pet peeve. We don't want to use the word pet peeve in our central idea, but you need to at least say that this is what annoys me. So we don't want to just start out by saying, you should do this and you should, today I'm going to talk about you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. We remember it's a pet peeve speech. We don't want to actually use the word pet peeve in the central idea because remember that is a little figurative language. But you need to say in there in some way, say the word annoyed, I'm annoyed, so that we are keeping with the assignment of the pet peeve. Okay. Any other comments or questions at all?
Yes, I have a question. So to upload my outline and my bibliography, is it in week 9? Because that's where I did. If it's not there, then I probably didn't, and that's why I didn't receive it.
I don't know exactly the week, but it's always in the week that it is due. So
9 is where I just submitted it and you got it.
okay.
Yeah. I must have did it in the wrong folder before.
All right. No problem. We'll get it. We'll find it.
All right.
I was gonna say Victoria's speech on littering hits like home with the wildlife, killing the wildlife. It's so annoying going to these parks locally. It's just like people throw like a party maybe late at night and there's just garbage everywhere. when you go
Everywhere,
in.
yeah.
And like I hate it, but like my friend is all about hating it too, but he'll just like throw the garbage in my car. I'm like, I don't want this,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it's just like disgusting. And like, yeah, at the same time, I'm just like, I want the wildlife to thrive. So it really, it's terrible, but it's so enormously terrible problem. It's difficult to
Mhm.
address. It was good.
Thank you.
Okay, I resubmitted it. I did in the wrong folder, so yeah, that was the problem.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? You all did a pretty good job. Okay.
I did with the outline versus the actual paper. To me, it's, I don't know. I'm just thinking I don't want to sound foolish, but I'm just thinking like it's so much that I'm putting into the outline, like what's left for the paper itself.
It's not a paper, it's a speech. And we use the outline to organize our ideas. That's why you have that outline. And remember, I told everybody, this is not your English class. This is a speech class, and it has similar rules, but it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
So I need to see that you understand how to work your ideas, that you organize them properly, okay, and that they relate to one another. A lot of times when you don't do this outline in this manner, your thoughts get a little disorganized.
So my outline that I did, to me is different than the way I just spoke it. From my nerves getting in the way and just trying to come off the dome versus continuously reading.
Right, that's that you're not supposed to continuously read.
Exactly. So
So how you get around that is you practice. You practice and you practice. So once you have knowledge of your information, you need to figure out, how am I going to put this into a keyword outline? Remember, that's what you're going to speak from.
yeah.
Keyword outline.
Mm.
So we have to figure out, how are we going to present those ideas in that manner? What things are going to stick out to me that I want to talk about? It's not reading to people. You don't want to read to people. A speech is not a reading. Okay. You want to deliver the ideas, but the key really is practice.
Okay.
It's practice. And once you have those three main points and you know the information that you have to support them, and remember, it's just not 3 points. How many main points should you have in your speech?
Well, I just say the outline says 3
Anybody
points,
can ask.
It actually, I was thinking you could have as many main points as you actually have. No?
2 to 5.
The amount of main points I told you in lecture.
2 to 5.
Yes.
Okay.
2 to 5.
Okay.
Main points. We use 3, but you don't have to have 3. Okay, but you have to have at least 2. And you should have no more than 5.
Because I have more points. Okay. More main points I could.
Right, and that's why we have to, remember I said in the beginning, when you start out your speech, you gather a lot of information. But as you start putting it together, you see where, okay, well, maybe this is not going to fit. Maybe this really is not going in the right direction of what I really want to talk about. And you're not going to use every single thing that you read or come across, right? That's why you're going to give me a bibliography instead of a works cited page, because you're going to tell me all the resources that you used, even though you may not have cited it or specifically referred to it in your presentation.
Okay.
I missed that because I had more.
Yeah. And remember, you have a time limit. You've been given a time limit. What was the time limit for this speech?
3 to 5 minutes.
Right. So you may have a lot of main points, but if you only have, and most speeches do have time limits. If you're asked to speak, most people will say, oh, can you please keep it to 3 minutes? Can you please keep it? They'll tell you how long they would like for you to speak. And when we get to special occasion speeches, we're going to find they shouldn't be long. Those types of speeches are all brief. They're lighter in nature. Sometimes the commemorative speech can get a little different, but for the most part, those speeches are brief. We'll talk about that on next week. We're going to cover special occasion speeches. And then that's going to be it for our discussion. And I'm going to let you go early because I know that you have 2 more speeches. So that's going to be on our agenda for the next month. So we have class next week in person. Then you're going to have off on the 16th.
22nd.
No, it's the week before that.
We
And
off.
my birthday is the 6th, Sunday.
Is the 15th. Okay, so we come to class on the 8th. And on the 15th, you're going to use that time to put together all of your ideas, finalize everything, and get that speech all tidied up for your presentation so that you can enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday.
So 15th is class 2, you said?
15th, you're not going to come to class.
Oh.
Use that class time to work on your speeches.
Okay.
All right. And so then hopefully you can have a good holiday with your family. And then, you know, Sunday you have to start back practicing some more. And of course, you have that Tuesday of the week of Thanksgiving. You know, you could use some of that time as well. So you have quite a bit of time.
Is our next speech,
I'm sorry?
is our next speech the 22nd?
Our next speech is on the 29th of November. That's going to be your informative speech. And then the next week, I believe it's December the 6th. That's going to be our special occasion speech. And that speech is going to be on Zoom. The informative speech is going to be in class. And then the next week, which is the 13th, that's your final exam. And you'll do that in Blackboard.
Oh, this went fast.
It go fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
Go very fast. Time flies when you're having fun.
And when you're getting old.
Well, yeah,
Don't talk about that. Don't say that O word. Don't say it.
we'll just say we're experienced.
Yes.
We're experienced, wise, and knowledgeable.
Yes. Okay, so are there any questions? You guys did a great job tonight. And I want you to start thinking about how you can turn these central ideas into more conversation. Remember we talked about that verbal central ideas. So try to work on that some for your, you can incorporate your main points with a statement without exactly saying them.
Like figurative speaking?
No, not figurative speaking. Not figurative. All right.
Oh, you said that we would have to do some evaluations.
Yes.
Okay, so
that's in your discussion board in Blackboard.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to convert the tape, put it up, make assignments, and then you'll go in and have your discussions. And you can respond to someone or not. It's up to you.
Okay.
Wait, so are we gonna be assigned someone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not up yet, right?
No, I have to see. I taped it tonight, and then I'm going to make the assignments. But you'll have it
you, Jackie.
next week.
I'm sorry.
I got you, Jackie. No, I'm just messing
You-
with
I was gonna say, I didn't make it up yet.
I was about to say I didn't get anyone yet. How did you get me?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be working on the informative and special occasion at the
Yeah.
same?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to work on a special occasion until like after next week, because I'm gonna talk about it then. I mean, you should have really listened to the lecture. It's really a repeat of the recorded lecture, but
Okay.
yeah, you should be able to do a little start on that.
So is any are we gonna have to verbalize any other speeches? The informative or the I'm not good with
That's what
public speaking.
Listen, if you give a speech, you have to talk, right? There has to be verbal.
Stop.
The more you do
You're
it,
right.
the more you do it, Michelle, the more comfortable you'll feel about it. You're not alone. Most everyone hates public speaking.
You're not by yourself, Michelle.
I know me and you is twins with it. I know that me and Marilyn, I know that Marilyn, me and you are twins with it, babe, with that anxiety. Oh yes.
I give it a run. That's all I can
Practice,
do is give it a run. The best I can.
And what I can do, if you want, you can let me know. I can set up something for you in Blackboard Ultra, so you can get on there and you can look at yourself and you can work on it that way if you want.
Oh, really?
You have to let me know that you want me to create a page, like it's not really a page, it's it just opens it up. It's almost like a little form in there where you can just go in there and practice.
That sounds good.
Yes,
I'm
it
trying to
does.
figure out how I was gonna see myself practice.
Yes, that sounds very good.
If you want to do that, let me know and I will set that up for you in Ultra, Blackboard Ultra, and you just go in there. You don't have your name on it, and you click it open, and then you just
Practice, okay.
practice in there if you want. But our next speech is in person.
Okay.
Your informative speech is in person. Any other questions? Thank you all very much for your speeches. And I'll talk a little bit more about it after I, give you all my comments. You're coming along. And we'll just remember, we're moving past that first outline, right? You'll see the comments that I make for you. But I'm pleased.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a great week, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.